Welcome, friends. I'm in Cañas Gordas, Colombia. Okay, I'm going to talk today about how I go fishing for friends. And normally, in any city I'm at, I go fishing for friends somewhere between 3 and 8 times a day. I go looking for a fishing hole. And when I was younger, I used to go down the farm. I lived in Orland, Indiana until I was about age 18 and went to university. And I would we'd go down the Fawn River, and I had some specific fishing holes. And one of the interesting thing is they had this dam that was for part of the fish hatchery. We didn't go fishing in the fish hatchery, but they had a fish hatchery, and there was this dam. And underneath the dam, as the water went over the dam, there was a pocket of air there. And if I put a whole bunch of lead weights on the line, I could get it to go down there in that area below the thing, and there'd be great big fish there. Okay, and how I discovered that, I don't know. I think I was probably fishing for crawdads, which is a whole other thing. Catching crawdads is a different thing. I didn't eat them. Okay, but in the Fawn River, there was also good fish and bad fish. So we had very large carp, and we also had catfish, and I don't really like catfish, but it was a lot of people going fishing in all different ways, right? But I knew, and I still know, they're probably the same holes. Well, they got rid of the dam last year. Somehow they're repositioning things. But I had my fishing holes. Okay, so what you want to do when you go fishing for friends is you got to look for a fishing hole. Okay, and so many people seem to have trouble with this. It's fun to find good fishing holes for friends. Coffee shops, a lot of people go in the wrong hole though. They're fishing in the wrong thing. They're trying to find one person, but they go to the wrong place because they're following the leader. One of the things that I've learned, Dr. Rolfe at the Huntington Treatment Center 37 years ago when I was in there for alcoholism, I walked out of the thing and I was being kind of flippant, and I said, everybody does everything for money. And he said, Andy, that's not true. Everybody does everything for intimacy. And this is a tough word for people, but intimacy is when you are vulnerable and you're explaining something to a friend that is accepting, and you have these conversations where I share, you share. And you can be intimate with a person in 5 minutes, or some people could take a lifetime and never be intimate with even their wife. And this is why I'm talking about this, how to go fishing for friends, because it's all about the proper bait, it's proper fishing. And right now I'm doing what I would call blind casting. Blind cast is when you're fishing in all different directions and you're trying to explore where to find a fishing hole. So fishing for friends is I have to first know what I want. But the intimacy part that Dr. Rolfe, the psychiatrist, said was, he says, what do people want if they get a lot of money? What they want is, they want to have beautiful girls around them, and they want to be surrounded. Where is that noise coming from? My phone's ringing, but I don't know where it's at. Okay, hopefully it stops. Okay, but I'm Andy Lee Graham, and I've lived in 114 countries, and I don't have a home. I've been traveling, living in different places for 26 plus years. I'm in Cañas Gordas, Colombia. That's got a little N on the end, so it actually means like fat bamboo. And so what I've been doing here, the gift of intimacy is the best gift that you can give a person is probably to listen to them and allow them to be themselves in a non-mocking, non-troll, non-canceling, open way. Now, don't get me wrong, you might accidentally have a catch and release problem. If you listen too well, you'll have a lot of people telling you their life story that sometimes you don't want. So the art of this thing is, an art is something that there is no set rules to doing. But when you're fishing, you want to be able to do it in the correct way. So what you're doing is you're fishing for intimacy. I'm fishing for friendship. I'm fishing for somebody that I have a meeting of the minds. This is contract law. In contract law, you can't have a contract unless you have a meeting of the minds. A meshing word, kind of like a Vulcan mind meld, right? But what you want to do, a Vulcan mind meld is a very good way to look at it, look at what you're trying to have, especially with a friend. A friend, I just wrote a guide again today. His name is Hall, Professor Hall, I think at Kansas State. He did a research study and he found that casual friendship is after about 50 hours of shared time with somebody. Somebody that you would consider a good friend is 200 hours spent with this person. So the art of becoming a friend is you need to spend time with the person. Okay, so but Dr. Rolf was really, really right on. People earn money so that they can be famous and they can have friends, and then they want all these likes, and that's not even friendship. And that's the problem here. We're trying to catch the wrong thing. We're trying to catch somebody that we can have an intimate friend that doesn't just want our money or something like that. And people are using the wrong bait. But a lot of people are gun shy, and they should be. 50% of the United States has probably got a divorce, right? They should be gun shy. They chose the wrong person for the rest of their life, and then they let themselves down by breaking the vow to death do us part. Okay, a divorce is a very horrible trauma that I really feel empathy with. I feel sorry. I've had many women that broke up with me, just boom, one day. They just break up. It's very hard to trust somebody when somebody hurts you, because that's what it is. It's an emotional pain. But friendship is always with a price. What is the price? You have to be intimate. You have to show who you are, which is part of the bait. And you got to go, you can't just, there's no formula here. So you go casting, you go blind casting all around the place. But most people, as far as I can see, they make a vow once they've had their heart broken, or they've been cheated or lied to, or somebody's betrayed them in any way, shape, or fashion, even though they do it all the time. And you really attract people that are just like you are. Okay, dysfunctional people attract dysfunctional people. Alcoholics attract alcoholics. If you're married to an alcoholic, you are, in my opinion, mentally alcoholic, even if you never drank in your whole life. My mother and father, I would have considered mentally alcoholic, okay, though they never drank in their whole life. But you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and this is why you need to go fishing and learn how to fish. So the art of finding friends is learning how to fish. But first things first, we got to know what we're fishing for. I want to say that again. You got to know what you're fishing for. I'm fishing for people that are curious, that got bright eyes, that are looking around, that are really actively moving their heads around. If I don't see a head moving back and forth and they're not looking at things and observing things, I give it a pass. I don't throw my bait at them. Why? Because I want a person that is naturally curious. And right now, it's almost a trend in fashion to walk straight ahead. People walk. And it's amazing when I see this, because it's the opposite of making the world a good place. Okay, if you want to make the world, people don't think it's their responsibility to make the world a good place, but what you're doing, if you don't make the world a good place, then you're making it a worse place. And if you're making it a worse place, you have to go live in a worse place. So the goal is that everybody works together to make the world a better place. That way, the cumulative effect is we have the synergy of a great place to live. But my ideal friend is a person with quick eyes. So if I see really quick eyes looking around, I'm checking them out. If they smile, and they're quick to smile, I want them quick to smile. I want them quick to smile, okay? Because that's the fish I want to catch. I want them to have on light-colored clothing, not too many pieces of clothing. I often make a joke. I'll walk up to girls, especially in Lake Atitlan, Guatemala, where I just came from, and you got these hippy-dippies, woo-woo people with 8, 9, 10 pieces of clothing, 40 tattoos, and you can go. I'll sit there and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I said, oops, you got too many pieces of clothing. Anything over 8 pieces of clothing, and you're too high maintenance. You're going to take too much time to be friends with you. It would take you probably 3 hours to take a shower because you're so preoccupied. As if I see, when I count tattoos on a body, when I'm seeing their whole body covered with tattoos, I think, man, you really need attention. You don't really want somebody that, you want a reciprocity and attention. And friends, you have to be extremely judgmental when you're talking to friends. You got to give everybody a chance, but you also have to be able to not throw your bait. Okay, so I want light colored clothing. I want smiles. I want laughing. I want somebody that's not looking to frown. When they give me that grimace look, you can see it on faces in the United States. It's sad. It's become a pandemic on the planet, especially among people that have money. They think that everybody's after them. Little do they know that nobody cares about anybody except themselves. Okay? When I first got sober, I used to think that everybody was thinking about me and talking about me and whatever. And what I realize now is I'm lucky if I get even a casual thought. They'll watch one of my videos for 30 minutes and not ever think about me again until the next video. Not even a possible thing. 99% of people, it doesn't even cross their mind to think about anybody but themselves. Okay, but you got to define the fish that you're going after. So you know what kind of fish you want? Most men are under the impression that any girl that will have them is a good girl. I've seen this a lot of times, men that are especially been divorced, the first woman they date, they move in with them. And I'm sitting there going, that's not very selective, guys. And now they're using Tinder. I had a guy trying to get me to use Tinder, and I said, any woman that's on Tinder, I don't want to date. Okay. Any woman that I want to be able to interview a person in a non-dating situation, in a casual, friendly way. And that's why I go fishing for friends. And there's plenty of good fish on the planet. I mean, there's no shortage of nice people. That doesn't mean that everybody is meant to be with somebody. Remember, though, that anybody over 25, 30 is probably divorced. So you want to quickly figure out if you want a built-in family. Like, I love children. I would not have a problem with a divorced woman with 2 children. When they have 6 or they got a child from 2 different fathers, just say no. Okay, but and this is real judgmental. But isn't that what friendship's about? When you're fishing, do you just try to catch any fish? We could catch these really huge carp, which are kind of fun to catch on the Fawn River, but we really would try to do anything. We get tired of taking them off the hook. And so you really just take them off the hook and throw them up on the field, hoping somebody would use them for fertilizer. But I'm always looking to see. What I do is I watch the fish. So I'm watching all the fish. A great way to do this is to go to the mall and try to figure out and actively engage and go fishing and say, that is a fish I'd like to catch. That is a fish I wouldn't like to catch. But don't just look at when men are looking at people, or women are looking, they're always looking in the wrong way. They're looking at the shoes, the clothes, and whatever. I want to know, are they clean? Like yesterday, I was laughing. My father used to carry around a pair of fingernail clippers and probably traumatized me. I said, Dad, why would you carry a little pair of fingernail clippers and never use them? Because to me, not cutting your fingernails is an empathy problem. That means that you do not care what other people think of you. Everything revolves around you. It's kind of a narcissistic person, okay? Listen to me, don't let me... I'm macho enough that you have to put up with me. I'm really paranoid about taking showers, right? I take showers. It's really kind of interesting, the hair that I got. I cut all my hair off, and I can have a bad hair day, okay? But it is nice to be able to get in and out of the bed without messing up my hair. I'm going to have to work on this thing. But in a target-rich environment, now this is important that you understand that this is kind of like a military term. There are target-rich environments. There are places, soft markets and tough markets. Like I would say Orland, Indiana is a tough market. It's really not very good because everybody gets married and anybody that's single is urbanized and goes to the city. Now, I don't want a woman that wants to go to the city and live because when they go to the city, especially when they go to like New York City, they're trying to be anonymous. Okay, that's not a person that is brave, in my opinion. People in New York City to me, are not brave people. They are wimps. They want to be anonymous. They don't want anybody to talk to them. They hate the people on the planet. They're not going to make the world a better place. They are the center of the universe. That is not a good friend. That is not a good mate. That is not, you want somebody that wants to be gregarious with the whole world and wants to make the whole world a better place. That's some reason why people go to churches all the time. But I will go in a target-rich environment. I may go out and go for a walk 8 times a day. And then I'll go blind cast. I'll go sit in different areas and I will do it. But often people are fishing for friendships too. And that's when you got a really beneficial situation. When they're looking for a friend and you're looking for a friend. So there's an 8-step process to meeting somebody. You say, hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Qué haces? ¿Cómo estás? ¿De qué haciendo? There's a count. Hello, how are you? Fine. What's up? What's going on? When they go beyond 8, the 8 count, that means they're interested in you. Like when a person starts playing with their hair, that means they're worried about how they look in front of you. So me and this one guy used to say hello to a girl, and as she's walking away, we'd wait. Come on, turn around and look, turn around. And like she'd play with her hair, then she'd turn around. Yeah, she liked this. Okay, body language is honesty. And that's one thing I can repeat over and over and over. It's very difficult for a person to lie with body language. They can lie with words, and they do all the time. But when a person's lying under any condition, you should say no. But the problem is, there's a guy in a bar. He was bragging about he was real excited. He found the perfect woman. And he's going out on a date that night. And he's just pumped up. And he says, I got a date with the perfect woman. He comes back into the bar. He's really despaired. He's sad. And he goes, what happened? Like, Charlie, you found the perfect woman. She goes, well, unfortunately, she was looking for the perfect man. Okay. You have to be the perfect man to get the perfect woman. You have to be constantly trying to be the best of the best, okay? You got to be a good person, somebody that is trustworthy. Even a criminal likes an honest person. Criminals get real angry when they get cheated because they know they think everybody's cheating everybody. Okay, when you see somebody that's always worried about getting cheated, it's their nature to cheat people. So basically, we do what we basically are angry at ourselves. We see ourselves in other people, but only about 5 to 7%. I'm always threatening to write a book about the strategies of travel. I collected almost 250 different travel strategies, and I decided not, after doing more research on what a strategy is. The U.S. military, I think, out in, I don't know, it's in Vermont or someplace, I don't know, Maryland. They have a college on military, and they study strategies because the military is all about strategy. Only 5 to 7% of people are just capable of coming up with new strategies just naturally. The other 93% of you are going to have to watch a video like mine talking about how to go fishing for friends. And it's really sad because the best strategy you could ever get on anything to do is follow the leader. So if you see somebody that is meeting friends like you want to meet, go try to hang out with them. But they may not like you as a friend because you're not the same person as they are. And it's like how Alcoholics Anonymous works. You hang out with people that want to do what they want to do. If you want to be rich, hang around with rich people. If you want to talk a language, sit around with people that talk languages. If you want to travel, hang around with people that travel. You become whatever you're around. If you want to learn to fish, you got to go hang around with fishermen. But if you want to fish for friends, you got to learn where the fishing holes are, and you got to know about bait. I don't really like teaching people on all the intricacies and the psychological and the sociology and all these different things, because most people, not only 1 in 20 is actually wanting just friendship. Most people are wanting, like, I don't know, it's like the man that's using a car, a house, a job for bait, or buying drinks in a bar. Like I can honestly say that I've only bought a few drinks in bars, normally for my best friends or my sister or different people. Or sometimes I would buy a drink for a woman right as I was leaving the bar and say, hey, this is from me, goodbye. Because what happens is you're enabling them to think that you're going into I'm buying you cycle. And then when you marry this girl because you got drunk together and it's the first girl that you had sex with in your life, you bought her. Buying drinks for girls is buying a friend. It's pure out buying friendship. And it's the wrong way to do it. Taking out a woman for a $400 meal, definitely trying to buy somebody. Trying to think that if you have this, Ferrari car that you're going to, a Porsche or whatever, that you're going to get the women. Yeah, you're going to get the women, but you got the wrong bait. You're going to get a woman. I've been trying to tell people that what you really should do when you go out on a date is take them out to your favorite restaurant. Like, I love Taco Bell. And I'm not going to, anymore when I ask a girl to go do something, I say, let's go for a walk. And if they say, why would I do that? Where are we going? I go, well, if that's important, then our friendship's not important, because they're only caring about the things that I can provide for them and not me. There's two different people. There's me, the person, and the thing. So when you're fishing, you got to use the right bait. But 19 out of 20 people are not making the world a better place. If one simple question you can ask when you're trying to meet a friend, would you like to make the world a better place? And they go, well, it's not my job. Then, well, okay, take a pass on that. What is it? There's probably a fishing term when you don't even try to fish for them, right? But most people on Tinder, I've learned this by being the owner of a social network. Most people are getting on, they're not getting on to learn or inspire. What they're getting on there is to have somebody listen to them. And people are starved for intimacy. I'll say that again. Dr. Ralph was 100% right. People will do anything to get somebody to listen to them and value. A lot of the social networks only have a like, they don't have a thumbs down. Because people, it's a self-prophesizing thing. You're going to get a bunch of likes. I have people call me up and say, Andy, I got 500 likes on this. And I go, by people you don't know. It's not true love. It's like fool's gold. It's a fool's errand. 99% of people are not worth catching. 50% of the population of the United States are lost at love, right? They got divorced and they're traumatized. I would say the other, say 75% in total are totally traumatized and they're angry. I mean, when men talk about women as if they're a separate species, I have these men that say, you know women, and I go, yeah, I like them. And I got women that say, all men are jerks or something like that. And it's kind of funny. But remember your fishing hook. So when you find somebody of like mind, like kind, somebody that has the same sort of emotional backup, they treat it, go back to the well, go back to the fishing hole, fish again and again. You got to remember where you met people. You got to remember too where you met the crazies. I had a friend who was trying to get me to go meet his friend in Lake Atala, and he says, yeah, it's this guy that I go buy dope from. I buy marijuana from. I said, you want me to meet a tuk-tuk driver that sells marijuana? That's a dopey thing to do. People think, and they don't really realize the quality of the people that they are hanging around with is who they are. Your 5 best friends actually defines who you are. If you take your 5 best friends, that is who you are. Look at all of them, and that is the sum total of who you are. But good fishing hosts. So You gotta go. So here in Cañas Gordas, I go fishing at this little coffee shop in the morning, and I become a regular, where they say hi. I ask them friends, and I take out my smartphone, and I got this Google Keep thing, and I always add the name of the friend. Like today, I coffee shop and the thing Dahlia um, waited on me, and I said Dahlia, the girl, she's kind of got bluish eyes. And I always pick out something and I put some memory cues in my thing to do it. When I have a real trouble when I make on my smartphone, I take a contact. I get their full name. Sometimes I take their picture and I write a memory cue. And they really don't understand it. If you only have 20 friends, I have over 750 people in my cell phone contact list. When I left Fort Wayne, Indiana, I had 7,000 contacts in my database. People that at different levels of friendship. But I had been fishing so much that I had it. I went fishing. When I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, I would drive around, and I don't drink, but I would stop into like 4 or 5 yuppie bars and just see what's going on and put in a showcase, right? And I went to the gym every day, and that's one of the best places to meet people, in the gym. But yeah, so when you go to some place, you're going to have people that have time and people are busy. And this is tough. But normally, a person that really likes you will make time. Remember that. If they won't make time for you, they say they're busy. That fish does not want to be caught. Okay? But I go to supermarkets. Everywhere you go is an opportunity to be friends. But get real good at saying hello and expecting a hello back, because that's the only way the world is going to become. But you have to be a good fisherman to catch good fish. The wrong fish has friends. But you look at the people thing. But anybody you start talking to, one of the things we used to laugh about at Indiana University, I said, we'd say hi to all the kind of the fat girls, right? And then you go, why? They got usually, for some reason, beautiful girls like to hang around with fat, ugly girls. Well, I shouldn't say ugly, right? Just not pleasingly plump, just not so pleasing. And what happens is that there's often these relationships where you have a beautiful girl with an ugly girl. And this is not a really good sign. Why is it not a good sign? Because it's not an equality thing, and they're basically wanting to be the power broker while the other one's the, one of the Three Stooges that's hanging around. You want to have people of the same ilk, the same like kind level. Find a good fisherman, follow him. So the simple strategy for finding friends is just to find somebody that is finding friends and go hang around with them. But you bait your hook with your clothing. You bait your hook with your hair. You bait your hook with your eyes. My eyes are good for fishing. Okay, the wrong bait. To me, the wrong bait is always talking about your car or what you purchased or whatever. These are the wrong bait. You're going to get a person that wants to be purchased. Okay, if you talk about your house, your car, your job, and all the money you're making, you're going to find somebody that, if you got so many tattoos on your body that you look like a thing, you really should address this issue. It's a personal issue. You didn't quite get enough hugs when you was a kid. Okay, too much peacocking is a no-go fish. Don't go with anybody that is trying to be the center of attention. That is a narcissistic personality. Wrong bait is expensive clothes, cars, jewelry, watch, expensive shoes, Apple phones. Always, I almost always say, big dogs. Anybody that's got the body language of a big dog with them, I say no to. Why? I don't want somebody that's in love with a dog that's so big that he wants to eat me. It's like they're afraid of the world, so they got to get a dog. I mean, a pit bull. If they're wearing sunglasses, I don't talk to them. If they got their headsets on all the time, I don't talk to them. If they got tattoos all over their body, I don't mind a couple tattoos. I got one somewhere. What side is it? I got one tattoo. But the correct bait is like, I sit in the park here and I read my book. I'm having trouble at the restaurant because I eat 4 eggs and they're scrambled, and I want it with, and they keep trying to give me different drinks with sugar. And they got different foods with sugar. And I don't want any sugar in the morning because I'd be hungry all day. And it takes a lot of work sometimes to stop it. They gave me a Tinto, a local coffee here. They grow coffee here. This is a coffee growing area. But they gave me the coffee the first day and it had sugar in it. And I haven't got one again. But I'll often be making a video or I'm reading or I'm talking or whatever. But I'm not on the smartphone. If somebody comes around me and I stop reading my book and I start being aware because there's fish in the area, right? When a fish comes around and somebody, the other day a man sat down next to me, one of the leaders of the city, I think, and he started talking about investments. And he said that there's gold mines on the other side. And I heard the other day that Japanese are working the gold mines. But I was very polite to him. You have to be polite to everybody. If you're not willing to say hello to anybody and everybody, I really don't want to talk to you because you don't want to make the world a better place. Friendship is what makes the world a better place. I remember when I was younger, I used to go to the bars with my sister. And the minute that you're with a girl in a bar that's pretty, all the girls want to talk to you. It's just a natural fishing thing. Everybody is jealous of the fish, the guy that has a fish already. But how to give the fish the hook. That's a very simple thing. And as you get older, I think you have to be a little more diplomatic. And I always have these little cards with my telephone number on it. And my full name, not just my first name. Anybody that tells me just their first name, I think, are you ashamed of who you are? Manners. Winston Churchill used to say, everything's forgivable except bad manners. If you don't know how to do a formal introduction, like here the other day, I was laughing because I had cod liver oil and my mineral spirits and my minerals, and it's a mixture of cod liver oil, minerals, and liquid vitamins on my skin. And I knew I smelled like a fish, and I did a formal kiss thing with Mercedes. And I go, oh man, she's gonna smell that fish. I'm now not doing that. I'm cleaning up a little better and getting the residual cod liver oil off. It's really horrible stuff. I probably should go like one day on coconut oil, another day on olive oil, another day on castor oil, and do one of these 4 oils, right? But it's a small world. But you gotta hook your bait. You gotta put your hook into it. So when I really just casually want to do something, I give them my business card. When where's my phone? Where is that phone? Okay, what you do what I learned in Africa is all you got to do is hand them your phone, take it out, put it on the contact page, and hand it to a person. And if a person likes you, they will fill it out. And that is the beginning of an inquiry handling system, okay? So you got to be able to, but then people will not answer the phone. So I start out text messaging them, and I first start doing a test for conscientious as a friend. So I want to see if the fish is actually in the game. So I write them, they write me, I write them. I want to know that they are actually capable of being a responsible person. Because why would I want to chase somebody down, catch a fish when I should be catch and release? You want to catch somebody that is a good person. That normally is a person that has a physical, emotional obligation to reply to people. When they walk into a room, they're looking around and they're saying hi to everybody. If they walk in a room and they say hello to nobody, they're not a good fish to catch. But catch the wrong fish. Catch the wrong fish is somebody that wants money. Snobs. They got a grimace on their face. Now don't get me wrong, there are people that are naturally introverts and they're shy to the point where they have trouble. But say hello to them anyway. They might turn it around and just be so happy you see a glee in their face. Anybody with big dogs, sunglasses, angry face, grimaces on their face, looking down, headsets on. This is body language that, leave me alone, I'm a jerk. Okay, I don't care. I do not care to talk to somebody that doesn't want to make the world a better place. Because I live in this world, I want them to be. And I wouldn't want to share 50 hours or 200 hours with a person that hates the world. All my friends are saying, very gregarious, Very happy people. But you watch the fish before you throw the bait. This is the hook. You can do it in many ways. The really deadly hook is when I hand the phone to them and I do it. Some countries are real easy. Some people are very paranoid. You don't want a paranoid person. If they're going to tell you I don't answer the phone, then you go, I need a brave one. I need a brave fish. I need a shark. Right? I need a stand-up person that really has no anxiety. Is really a go-getter. But if she'll take the hook, she'll put the bait in her mouth, and she'll do it. Ask their name. I'm always laughing at the men that go fishing for other men, and I go, you're fishing in the wrong hole. Do you understand that you're going to the billiard place to play pool with your friends? And what kind of hole do you want? This is not a very fishing hole. But I'm often wondering, they ask me, why don't you want to go with it? I said, I want to go hang around with a bunch of men that talking bad about women that are really in love with each other. Okay, I go, sometimes I think the sports people, the motorcycle people, are really only caring about the love of another man. And that is not a well-balanced friend either. You got to be, in this world, you got to be friends with a little bit of everybody. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to be friends with everybody. And, if I saw a transgender person with purple hair, I'd be nice. I'd say hi, and I'll just kind of keep walking down the street. And if they talk much, I just wouldn't reply much, right? Because I'm not going to throw the bait out. There's no obligation in life to be friends with somebody. Absolutely zero. And what's funny is that when you're looking for intimacy, there's this idea that we have to be open-minded, whatever. No, friends is the most prejudicial thing you could ever do in your life. You're finding somebody that is somebody that you would respect, and the more you know them, the longer you respect. If you don't instantly see actions of respect. I'll always forget when Jim Seltzer was walking across the street. I was standing all the way down at the other end of the street. He's dead now. And he is the owner, one of the richer guys in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and he owned a title company. And he stops and picks up like a McDonald's glass out of the road and carries it in the house, into his business. So here's a business owner that has 40, 50 employees. And here he is picking up trash in front of his office and carrying it in. That is the kind of person I want to be friends with. I don't care how they treat me. I care how they treat the waitress. I care how they treat people in general. I want to see how you treat everybody. That's how you fish for a good fish. Okay, yesterday a girl was fishing for me. I was sitting there in the park here. They got a really excellent park here. I'm in a what they call a paradise climate. It's at 1,300 meters, about 4,500 feet, and it's endless spring. There's no real need for air conditioning or furnaces. And it's funny because it is a little hot here sometimes. It's a little warm here. I do have a fan, and it makes it just at 1,300 meters. I realized it's at the level where swimming pools make sense. And they have a public swimming pool here. But good place to go fishing, right? Okay, but I have to take care of my body, cut my fingernails, trim my beard, be nice, not vain. It's not vanity. I'm doing it for other people so that I'm a pleasant person to be around. Gee whiz, does that seem so difficult? Okay, but a strategy. A girl walked by me 3 times yesterday. There's this really beautiful landscape area in the Parque Central here. And she was walking. After the 3rd time she walked to her, I started walking. I walked up, stood next to her. She says hi. And I said, but she was fishing. Obviously, her body language was, there was no reason to look. People go fishing. I have a lot of men here that walk up and shake my hands. They're just dying to open up a conversation with you. This is one great benefit of traveling the world. It's a very easy fishing. But there are cultures like Thailand where they're so racist against the white person that they call it, you don't realize. I always laughed at my Thai girlfriend. I dated her for about 5 years. And I said, Kai, you really have no use for foreigners. See, some cultures like Southeast Asia can be really cruel. Okay, and the what's interesting, Lake Athlon is Kachikel, and the tribal. Sometimes tribals will not interact. They'll be friends, but they won't be anything more. It's like the Amish. The Amish are not going to intermarry with the non-Amish people. Uh, certain cultures refuse to. Very difficult. I'm always trying to cross the barrier with the Israeli girls because they're strong. Um, but you got to find your fishing hole. When you find somebody that, when you fish for a friend, you find a friend, go back to the hole. But blind cast, always be switching holes. I walked all over this end of the city today trying to find other places to sit around and go fishing for friends. And this is the art of travel. And when you say that you're not looking for friendship, you're not looking for love, you're not doing this, I'm worried about you. Because you should always be open to everything. That's an open global citizen, is always trying to be friends with the world. But don't bottom fish. Bottom fishing is when you're going for people that are so low on the totem pole. If you lie to somebody, you're fishing for liars. If you're talking about your car, you're fishing for prostitutes, okay? If you're talking about your big house, or you're talking about taking them to dinner, you're trying to buy a prostitute, okay? And that's the reason why you got married and got divorced, because you married a prostitute. You bought her. Instead of buying drinks in a bar is almost always a bad idea. Because the girl is enabled to think, well, we got a sucker on the line, right? And some people like to be fishing for suckers. They also like to be, that's why I like the fat girl can be with the pretty girl, because she increases her social status by being with the pretty girl. The pretty girl gets to treat the other one like she's the queen, okay? We used to have a saying in university that treat the queens like shit, the shit like queens. Treat everybody equally. That's a global citizen. A global citizen is traveling at all levels, living in all levels, and we're universally open to everything. Okay, I'm Andy Lee Graham. Become a Patreon if you'd like to learn how to be a better person, how to be honest, how to talk the truth, how to understand the truth, how to identify the truth, and how to be a philosopher. I'm here and you're not, why not? Think about that question. I'm here and you're not, why not? I'm here and you're not, why not? I'm living the best of lives, and I'd like to share it with other friends. Become a Patriot and help me make the world a better place. I'm here and you're not, why not? Hit the subscribe button. I'm always forgetting to say that.